It is a beautiful morning in Connecticut. Well, it's freezing, but it's beautiful. Today's a big day, guys. We have something huge happening in my life and in someone else's life. Actually, two people's lives are completely changing today. And one of them was my first employee ever. And the other one just moved from Idaho to Connecticut to take an opportunity with me and my company. So I want to walk you guys through the whole entire day and show you exactly what's going on. I'm going to tell you the whole backstory of it on the way to the shop. So let's get in the car, let's go to the shop, and let's go through the story. So we are going to take the Turbo GT today. This is the daily. This is what I drive every single day. It's got the Thule on it. So it's kind of annoying, honestly, because this damn thing is so loud. Especially when you're going 100 miles an hour. I have my laptop, I have my shorts, I have my bag and my yoga mat because I am going to hot yoga for the first time ever today. I have my protein bar and my Chobani Greek yogurt drink because I'm on a diet as well. 2025, new year, new me, right? Let's talk, guys. All right, so from Mikasa to the shop, it's about a 22-minute drive. So I have 22 minutes to tell you guys this story. So bear with me. It's not going to take the full 22 minutes.
You sure about that?
So Stefano, who you're going to see later in this video, was my very, very, very first employee ever. And we're actually going to stop. We're going to be passing the shop in about 10 minutes down the road of my very first shop ever. So on my old channel, before I get into the story about Stefano, on my old channel there was a video, and I believe we reposted it. This is on the Lab CT's channel. On that channel, there's a video of me showing all the shops that I was ever in, from my shed in my parents' backyard, that was my first shop, to my very first shop that I rented in Northford, Connecticut. That was 700 square feet. And then we went to the one in North Branford, which was about 2,500 square feet. And then it was the lab after that. So I've only been in 4 different spaces, one of which was not an actual space that I rented. It was a shed in the backyard. Stefano came along in the very, very first unit. It was 2017 at the time. I'm 26 years old. I'm turning 27. I feel like I was just 21 yesterday. And Stefano joined me when I was, I believe, 20 years old. So how it happened is I was running the company. My original company was Legends Off-Road Performance. And we're gonna go into the whole story here that I'm sure that some of you have heard a million times because, again, I used to post a video or two on my old channel that I explained this. But Legends Off-Road Performance was my very first company ever. Started it out of my shed in my mom's backyard. I was 16 at the time. I had just gotten my license. My mom gifted, my parents gifted, like good parents, a $15,000 used 2007 and a half Silverado 1500 extended cab LT with 115,000 miles on it. That's what I got for my first car. It was 2013 when I got my license. So the new body style, the LML Duramaxers were out, and I was trying to be a spoiled kid. I'm like, Mom, Dad, please get me a Duramax. Like, I want a diesel, I want a roll of coal. And they were like, no, your limit's $15,000. And I didn't want the old body style. So I was like, okay, I'd rather have the new body style gas truck. So I got the smallest engine. I got the worst trim model I can possibly get, just so that I could have that body style, because I'm really all about looks. I love performance too, but when I was 16, I cared more about how it looked more than how fast it was or how cool it sounded. So they got me this truck, and they didn't get me any upgrades for it, but I was like, okay, I need to make this thing look cooler. I'm really good with my hands. I know how to work on things. I used to race RC cars as a little kid, which requires taking them apart, modifying them, putting on aftermarket pieces and parts. And then I went from RC cars to building dirt bikes, buying them blown up off Craigslist when Craigslist was a thing, and buying replacement parts on eBay, fixing them and flipping them for a profit. So I knew how to work with my hands. I was like, what's different on a truck? It's all just nuts and bolts. And I looked up a video, and props to Fast Headlights, because Fast Headlights, the brand, the company Fast Headlights, his name's Phil. Props to him for making tutorial videos on how to do headlights back in the day. 2013, LED halo rings were just coming out, the color change ones, the ones that you would see on all of the Jeeps, right? So Fast Headlights had a video on YouTube on how to install those halo rings, and he used the headlights out of a Silverado, just like the Silverado I had. And we can insert a picture of the Silverado here so you can see what it looked like. Let's do a stock picture, boom, and a aftermarket picture when I was done with it, boom. Okay, so yeah, I looked up a video on how to open up the headlights. I opened them up, I put the halo rings in them, and it wasn't too hard. I didn't think it was too hard. I put them back together, they leaked. Like the first day it rained, they filled with water. So I didn't really get the sealing technique down in the first try. Sealing is definitely an art that you have to master. But I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. Maybe I could do this. And at the time when I was 16 and I had a truck and I was in high school, there were other kids with trucks in high school. So the kids with trucks would become friends and would hang out together. And kids from other high schools, other nearby high schools with trucks would find out about each other through Instagram or through other friends and would hang out in parking lots. And eventually, like maybe 6 months into owning the truck, when it was actually modified and cool looking, I started doing these truck meets at the local North Haven Town Fair Tire parking lot. And I did that with John Tamayo, who was also one of my very first employees. So John was there since the start as well. He had a truck, he had a Tundra, but we're getting off topic here. The point is that I modified the headlights and I started a custom lighting business. It was a slow start. Just started off as one customer a month maybe. So I wasn't making a lot of money. I was making a couple $100 a month, but enough to get me the upgrades I needed for the truck because I didn't have much. So all I did was plasti up the front and rear bumpers white because they had the colored plasti ups at the time. I plastied up the wheels black. I put a D-ring on the freaking hitch in the back. It was disgusting. I got a couple other upgrades for the front end, and it ended up looking pretty good. And it was a budget build. I didn't have money. All I had for money was, okay, so my first job ever was Subway. And I worked at Subway for 2 weeks. Minimum wage at the time here was $8 an hour. I quit after 2 weeks. I didn't give any notice. I just walked out. I said, screw this. I'd rather just do something on my own because I'll make more money. Because $80 a week, it's gonna get me a tank of gas and maybe a gram of weed, and that's it. So it wasn't cutting it. So I decided to pursue my company full time, even though it wasn't a company yet. I didn't even LLC the company until like a year after. So I was a sole proprietor. All the money was going right into my personal bank account. There was no business. All I had was a business name because when I was 16 years old, I didn't know how to start an LLC. I learned that a year after, and I did LLC it, and that's where business started to get really serious. So Legends Off-Road Performance really took off after I moved out of the shed. It started taking off in the shed. I was doing a good amount of lights within the first year that I was in there. By the end of that first year, I was doing a consistent, maybe 4 sets of lights a month, maybe 6, who knows. And then the shop that we're about to pass in about 2 minutes is where it really, really started to grow. And I was still on my own. I had no employees. I was building all the lights myself. And I had just got into college. So 2013, I was 16 years old. So I was a sophomore going into junior year of high school. And then I ran the company for 2 years before I got into college. I went to Quinnipiac, which is 5 minutes away from where I grew up in North Haven. And 10 minutes away, or maybe 15 minutes away from the shop in Northford. So I decided to commute. They had an entrepreneurship program at the school, and I didn't want to do any other major because I had no interest in accounting, medical, nothing. All I wanted to do was start my own business. My parents were like, you need to go to college. I was like, okay, then I'll pick a major that suits me, and it was entrepreneurship. I didn't give a single shit about school. I told all my professors that I have a business that's 15 minutes away, and unlike your other students for the most part, because most freshmen are like 17 years old, 18 years old. So I was like, listen, I'm different, okay? Give me some leeway here. If I can't make it to a class, or if I'm late to a class, or if I don't submit homework on time, I don't want to hear what makes you different than everyone else. I had a business. I hate people that think that everybody's equal. Not everyone's equal, okay? Some people deserve other treatment. That is, if you want to fight me on that, fight me on that. I don't care. But yeah, school, business, right here. We're gonna pull in. How about that? 1831 Middletown Ave. My very first official shop ever. And I was here for 2 years. I would always get a hot cocoa there in the morning in the cold months. Oh, I love the people here, the neighbors that I used to have here, because all the shop doors are right next to each other. This guy builds railroad track devices that change the direction of where the train's gonna go. Little solenoids, basically. This was my shop right here. This one bay. The wall starts there and it ends right after that door. And it goes back maybe like 40 feet. But yeah, this is where I was every single day. I would keep the door open on the nice days. It was beautiful. I had no employees, no stress. I can build these lights, have a good time building them because I actually enjoyed it, and not give a single crap about anything because all I had to do was pay for myself. And I think the rent here was like $700 a month. So I didn't really have much worries. It was amazing. I missed those times. But nonetheless, like I said, while I was here in this shop, I was also in college. I was starting college. And I had one class where it was, I don't even remember the name of the class, but it was an entrepreneurship class. And Stefano was in the class. He actually sat at the table that I was at. And we were doing icebreakers. And Stefano went before me with the icebreaker. And he tells the teacher, the professor, that he is doing customization for cars down the street in Hamden, which is where Quinnipiac is. And he explains a little bit of what he's doing, that he does like, he's working on a custom headache rack, so a rack for the top of a truck. And then I go with my icebreaker, and I'm like, I also do customization for vehicles, and but my niche is I build custom lighting. That is the main thing that I do, is custom lighting for pickup trucks, show trucks. And Stefano and I were like, did we just become best friends? And we ended up talking, and I was like, listen, I was younger than him. He's 2 years older than me. So he was about to graduate the year after, and I was a freshman. And I was like, why don't you come down to my shop? It's only 15 minutes away. And he was living in Hamden off campus at the time. Come down to the shop, let's talk. You know, maybe we could do something together. He came down to the shop, he told me his idea for this headache rack thing that he wanted to do, and I was like, that is the stupidest thing in the world. Do not do that. And here I am, 18 years old, 19 years old at the time, and talking to 21-year-old Stefano, like, dude, that's a stupid idea, don't do that. Why don't you, I need some help. I would love to focus more on my business and growing the business and doing the sales, because that's what I'm good at. I'm also good at building the lights, but I know that I can push more light sales if you can get good at building the lights. I said, why don't we try a week or two that you're working 100% free. It's a trial. If you like it and I like how you work, then we'll make it a job. I'll pay you, I think I started him at like $20 an hour. But that $20 an hour to me, again, at the time, minimum wage was probably like $9 at the time. That $20 an hour to me was worth it, because now I'm allowed to, I have the time to step away from the shop and building the lights to making more sales. So in an hour of building lights, I can make a sale, an extra sale that I wouldn't have if I was building lights in that hour. So I was like, okay, this is gonna work out. Let me pay you $20. You did the week, and he loved it. And I was like, awesome, you are going to be my first employee ever. So I hired him, and I set up QuickBooks, payroll, and I was paying him on payroll myself. I didn't have a bookkeeper at the time. I didn't have an accountant doing payroll. I did all of that myself, and I set him up. I got him to learn how to do lights. It took him a little while. Stefano had a little bit of an issue with sealing for like the first 2 years, but I was always the QC. So he would do the cleaning of the headlight lenses, and then do the inside, take them apart, get them ready for paint. And then I would be there to do this. I would usually do the sealing, to be honest. As we went on down the line, he would start doing the seal, and then I would just QC, quality check it. So Stefano started with me, if I'm recalling this correctly, at that shop in 2019, or 2018, let's say 2018. Yeah, 2018. So, first employee ever at that shop. After about 6 months to a year maybe that he was with me in that shop, we moved to the shop in North Brantford. Northford is a little village. It's a small part of North Brantford, and North Brantford is 10 minutes down the road. So the new shop was 10 minutes in the opposite direction. So it was still only 10 minutes from my parents' house, just like this one that we just saw. And also not very far from Quinnipiac and where he lived in Hamden. So to get to the point here, we got out of, he got out of school. He graduated because he was 2 years older than me. I never graduated Quinnipiac, by the way. I'm not going to get into that story right now. If you want to know it, maybe I will tell you one day on a separate vlog. But he graduated Quinnipiac, and he decided to stay in Connecticut, even though his whole family, he's from New York, like Rochester, New York area. And he decided to stay because he had a good job. He had a job with me. And then I started LGND. And that's where he was like, well, I don't really need to stay here, right? Because you're not going to be doing all lights anymore. I'm not really going to have work to do. I'm like, yeah, but you're still going to have the giveaway trucks to do. So what he did was he obviously left my company, Legends Off-Road Performance. I shut down Legends Off-Road Performance, but I kept the LLC open. We just didn't do business. And he moved back to New York and he started Creative Lighting Source, his own lighting company. And what happened was he gave me a wholesale price to do all of our giveaway trucks and any personal vehicles of mine. So all of the lights that you see on my personal vehicles in the past like 4 years, any giveaway trucks have been built by him. Now remember, I was doing this at the very, very beginning, but I haven't built a set of headlights in probably 5 years, maybe 4 years. It's been all him, and he'll drive from New York to Connecticut once to twice a week, because now he's not only doing our giveaway builds and my personal vehicles, but he's also doing the builds from our parts website. So he's got, and customers for the lab. So there's a lot of work, and he comes back and forth. But let's put it into perspective here. I started doing lights in 2013. I wasn't full force in 2013. Like I said, I was doing maybe one set a month. So let's just say 2014 to I think I stopped in like 2019 is when I really stopped. So from 2014 to 2019, that's 5 years. 5 years of doing lights got me sick and tired of doing lights. And I started LGND, I stopped doing lights completely. Actually, not even 5 years. It was only about 2 years before I hired Stefano. So I got sick of it before 5 years. But there's a business there. There's a demand that needs a supply. And that is people wanting custom lighting, and not many people do it and do it good. So I was like, well, I don't really want to do it, but I want to hire someone to do it for me, but he needs to do it well in my way so that we can still take in jobs because people know that we're the best. So I did all of the lighting for 2 years on my own, hired Stefano, and then I continued to help and do the quality check and make sure everything was right and fix his fuck-ups for another 3 years. So a total of 5 years I was working on lights. And it's been about 5 years that he's been working on lights, actually probably more, since he started with me to now, right now, today. So today, I am buying Creative Lighting Source, Stefano, my first employee ever's company that he started when he moved out of Connecticut. So, how's that gonna work, you ask? He's a little bit sick of building lights and he wants to pursue new things, and rightfully so. No one wants to just sit there with a screwdriver and a heat gun and a soldering iron for the rest of their life. If you do, that's one thing, but if you have bigger ambitions and dreams, then you're not gonna wanna just sit there for another 5 years after you've done 5 years of it already. You're wasting time. So, neither do I. So there's this kid that reached out to me, ironically. I say it's just weird how the stars aligned. This kid, Elijah, from Idaho. He worked for another reputable retrofitting company. Retrofitting is modifying headlights and retrofitting them with retro new upgrades. Usually retrofitting, it started as just swapping out projectors, old projectors with new projectors, or headlights that don't have projectors, putting projectors in them, which all headlights pretty much come with projectors now. So the only thing that we really do to lights, unless somebody wants something crazy, is usually just paint matching them, which is all I really ever need. And then maybe a little RGB light for a little accent light when the car's off, like the SVJ was. So anyways, Elijah DM'd me and said, yo, I'm a huge fan. My mom won the Nissan Cube you guys did for the April Fool's giveaway on LGND. And I was like, oh my God, like I gotta respond to this guy. And then he didn't include that he worked for a retrofitting company. He didn't tell me at all in the first message that he was a light builder. After I responded to him is where he started to tell me what he does. I was like, holy crap, dude. You know how hard it is to train someone to build lights? If I can get you, and he said he would love to work for me before I even mentioned this. I was like, if I can get you to come to Connecticut, you can completely replace Stefano. Stefano can retire from building lights, and we can grow the lighting portion of our business because we'll have someone full-time now. Stefano, the problem with him is that he not only had his own company and his own customers, so he was competition, but on top of that, he only came to our shop twice a week. So if we have an influx of orders, let's just say 10 sets of lights that need to get done, Stefano can't knock them out as fast as we want them to because he only comes twice a week and he has other things to do at his own shop. So the stars aligned. Me and Elijah and Stefano spoke together. I brought up the idea to Stefano that, hey, maybe I should buy you out, and we should have Elijah come here. I'll hire him. I'll pay for his salary, and I'll pay for your company. Because at the end of the day, what I'm paying you versus what I'll pay him and buying your company will equal out or be more, aka a better deal for me, if I were to just do this. And you'll have time to work on your new things, like your 3D printing business. He wants to get into 3D printing, prototyping new things for people, for cars. He loves 3D printing, and he's a master. So if you need anything 3D printed, his website now is DigiFab USA. Love Stefano till the day I die. And we are going to be at the shop in 2 minutes. I told you it wouldn't take the whole ride to the shop to do this, but it did. Elijah's already there. You're gonna meet him. He's a young kid, super ambitious. Obviously, he just moved here from Idaho for a job. This is the first time I've ever hired anybody out of state. So don't get any crazy ideas, because I'm not gonna hire you unless you have something to offer, like Elijah, which is replacing somebody that we are so reliant on, which was Stefano. So odds are it's not gonna happen again. Yeah, let's bring you through the day of selling Creative Lighting Source to his very first boss ever. Well, maybe not very first boss ever for him, but my very first employee, okay? That's all that matters here. Crazy. January, what, 15th? 2025. So I have a few things to do off camera in my office. It's 9:30 in the morning. I'm gonna get a few things done, and then we're gonna get to it with the whole Creative Lighting Source purchase and transfer. And I'll walk you guys through the whole entire thing. Morning, John. Say hello to the vlog. Good morning, JM. Say hello to the vlog. So some days I just go straight to the office and I don't walk to the shop, so I don't really know what's going on half the time. SF90, piece of junk. I'll do a vlog on that and why I hate it. Amazing car when it works. Oh, wow. There's the racks.
Huge. So we got this off the quick jack so I can move
Damn.
over and we can build the other one here. So this is all that.
So yeah, only car wheels can go on the top, huh?
Yeah, because we have 43 and 3/8 inches from the ground to this bar.
Oh man. So that's sticking out just a little.
Yeah.
If that beam was just an inch higher, it can tuck in.
Then we'd be like
the pallets.
I don't think we could get even a set of Austins on there.
Ah, shit. We're gonna move this down all. Technically, yeah, we should probably move. The thing is, if you put the rack starting here and going down.
I was gonna put it.
Yeah, so that we could actually use, because otherwise the corner's gonna be useless.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That'd
then
be-
we're gonna
that'd
have
be
some
perfect.
space back here, and we also have a reel that's gonna be unused. Should we move that?
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have one section here, one section here, and then one section there, and then we're gonna still have this space to be able to do car stuff, modifications. A car can pull in here. But the reason that we got these racks is because we started the parts website, and that's also part of the reason that we're buying Creative Lighting Source. But the reason that we have these racks specifically is that we just bought a full truckload of American Force wheels. So we have a ton of American Force wheels coming in. So if you need any American Force wheels for your truck, we will have quite a few sets in stock. Who's that? I think that it should go back a little more, as close to that vent as possible. Hold this.
That's where it gets weird, because the center has to move up and with it. Yeah. Nice. So this one will stay here. That one will be butted up against it. But then this one, we need to know because, you know
This
how.
one, same thing.
Butt
Put it
up.
right up. So then we can still use the entranceway.
Okay.
Exit.
But then you wanted the toolboxes only up
Everything
against
is
the
gonna
back of
run
the,
along it, yeah.
but nothing here. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like nothing right here.
You're right, so you can still
The
walk in and-
toolbox will, or table setup will start, you know,
Right here.
somewhere here. Yeah, yeah, there.
Maybe we should take some plywood for the back side of this rack because it's completely open. Maybe we should take some plywood.
Oh, close it
and
off.
Screw it into these beams just so that it's closed off and there's a wall behind these.
We could do that. Yeah.
Right. So that, and we might need to move the reel. We can keep it there.
Yeah.
But would it make sense to have that somewhere else where we would use it more?
It's weird because now this one going here, I mean, I don't have a problem with it, obviously. It's just we have to realize now those bumper racks are all going to be on the other side of it, which is going to push all into where.
Why don't we put the bumper racks in between, inside here? I mean, they're gonna have to get moved every time that we
Here
put
and
something
there.
on.
I think the bumper racks, maybe we,
We'll find a new spot.
yeah, a new spot probably. Okay, boys. What are those? Customer's headlights?
Yep.
Online order?
Yep.
Nice.
I started them. I figured while he was here, just tear them apart. Yeah. I gotta show him how to do projector retrofits. He's only done one.
What do we project? That's projector retrofit?
Double. Just
You've only done one?
out there. Yeah.
Let's go to the office
Okay.
and talk. For both of you, you're gonna get set up with payroll today. You already know all the things that you're gonna be doing, right? The task list that I gave you. So custom lighting orders, Starlit headliner builds and installs too, rock light installations, shipping and receiving for custom lighting, vehicle disassembly and reassembly for lighting jobs. If a car were to come in here and they only wanted headlights done, and maybe you're done for the day with doing custom lighting and you have no rock lights or whatever else to do, instead of having one of the techs do it, we would have you disassemble the front end, get the headlights out. Again, the goal is for you to go through this and understand what you're doing and ask questions before you start doing it for the first time. That's fine. Ask as many questions as you want. All right, so I need the contract. This is a big moment, Stefano. Elijah's life just changed, your life just changed, my life just changed. Let me hide what's on my screen here. This is big. Hello, Claudio.
It's a lot.
Ooh, what is this?
This is the vlog.
Oh god.
Say hello.
I made it to the vlog.
Claudio, you're gonna film us. I mean, the number one thing is total purchase price. We are both well aware that you're keeping your LLC. I am just taking over your customer list. I am taking over your Instagram page and all that, and you will not be doing any more custom lighting at all. And if anybody comes to you for custom lighting, you will send them over our way. Fair enough. Fill out your address. It's like I'm giving you a truck. Congratulations, sir.
One day when you'll be a billionaire, you can buy me a truck.
That's gonna be like 10 years.
Only 10 years.
Next, sign. This is it. When his toes come out of his shoes. You signed it. Congratulations.
Thank you. You too.
Awesome. Now, Claudio, I have a note here. Scan this.
Yeah, can I have a copy?
Yeah, we're gonna put it into Drive, send him a copy, and wire him his money. How do you feel that you're doing perhaps one of the last lights that you'll ever do?
Surreal. Feel good.
You know what I kind of want to do in this vlog?
What?
I kind of want to hear the story from your perspective.
The story? Okay.
Yeah, of how it started.
Story time?
Not here.
We got
You can
30
come back
minutes.
down to my office after, later on. But I think we did everything, right? We got everything done?
What?
We got everything that we needed to done. We
Yeah.
did the contract, we did all the transfers, so the
Waiting for my
accounts.
money.
Yeah, give it 2 hours. Stefano, I want you to briefly tell the story and see if it matches my story. Because I told the story earlier, but I might be a little off on the dates. I think I had it correct. Remember Strauns? Professor Strauns? When was that, 2018?
It was before that, 2017.
2017.
Because LGD started 2018.
2019. I started the LLC in 2018 though, yeah.
Yeah, so I was already part of Off-Road in 2017.
So you were only with me for 2 years?
Yeah.
Damn. Time flies.
Time does fly. Well, the first time I ever heard about you was in the Quinnipiac Car Club Facebook group. You made a post for detailing. You were like, oh, my shop does detailing, this and that. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? I do detailing on this campus. Get the fuck out of here. No idea who he was. Start doing a little more research, saw this Legends Off-Road page. I was like, oh, this is cool. And then one day, we're in the same class. I'm like, oh.
At the same table.
At the same table. I'm like, that's that kid Giovanni. Professor asked us to come up with products to create a company around. I came up with a roof rack. Gio's ears went up. He was like, ooh, car parts. He was like, I want to be on his team. So, naturally, we partnered up, started working on a project. And then I told him a little bit about what I was doing on campus, doing some like chrome deletes, detailing, light bar installs, this and that. I had like a truck at the time.
An Avalanche.
An Avalanche. I had an Avalanche. And one day Gio goes, hey, why don't you come by my shop, check it out. If you like anything, maybe we'll do the project here, this and that. Go over there, see this one bay shop with a lift. And I was like, oh man, college kid with a lift. I'm like, oh,
With a lift.
This is cool,
The
man.
cheapest lift in the world.
Listen, from where I was from in the suburbs over there, no one my age was doing this kind of stuff. So it was like all exciting. So you were like, hey, I can train you. I can't pay you for 2 weeks, but I could train you.
It was 2 weeks, huh?
It was 2 weeks. So I worked for free for 2 weeks, learning the basic roles of building headlights. Never did one on my own, but Gio's a good teacher, and he motivates you, pushes you to not fail.
Yeah, when you break something.
And then when you break something, it's your fault. But anyway, did that. While I was in class, he was at the shop. While he was in class, I was at the shop. So our schedules kind of helped that way.
Left that out.
And then we did that in the old shop for some time. I graduated in 2018. You were, how old are you? 20?
In 2018, I was 20 years old.
No, but how old are you now?
I'm 26 now.
26, I'm 20. So
You're 2 years older than me, right?
Yeah, Gio was 2 years younger than me. So I graduated, he was still in school. So after I graduated, I went full time with Legends Off-Road. That went on for about a year and a half. About a year. And then LG&D started to come about. A lot of late nights, again, unpaid late nights, working at the beach house.
Weren't you salary?
Okay, but I'm
Were you salary? I'm
Yeah,
just trying to
I was
remember.
salary.
You were salary, okay.
salary. So, but at night when we left the shop, we'd work on LG&D. So LG&D starts. We don't need Legends Off-Road. We're figuring out the rest of the builds going on, getting those done. I'm like, well, what am I going to do now? Like, I need income coming in. And there was no positions available for LG&D. And I kind of wanted to move back to New York.
No. It wasn't just the positions weren't available. You wanted to move home.
I did because I couldn't afford to stay there. But that's
You said, I remember your word for word
What did I
verbatim.
say?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
It
you're
doesn't
right.
make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
I'm going to move home. I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to
Yep.
save money.
Yep.
I'm going to be with my family.
Yep.
Yep.
So Gio graciously was like, I don't care if you do lights, because he wasn't doing them anymore. So I was like, well, this is what I know how to do. And I kept up with a few of his customers. And I kind of like went through Gio's footsteps with building lights out of my parents' shed. And then eventually
Oh, here we
getting
go.
into space.
Another interruption.
No,
Why you got the jacket
I
on?
was gonna be quick. I was gonna ask if you got your 99% lean beef.
With me?
Yeah.
Why, you wanted it?
No, I was gonna grab just something quick. So
No, I got yoga in a little bit.
he defined that as one of his new hobbies.
It is a hobby. It's an activity. We were at the point
I
where
moved
you
home.
went home.
Yep, moved home, started doing lights on my own. I kind of positioned my business a different way than Legends Off-Road. I focused mainly on lights, and I worked out of other shops. So that way I didn't have any overhead, or I didn't have as much overhead as having my own shop. Because I found that you could get more business through custom automotive shops that do vinyl wrapping, detailing, this and that, whatever. But all at the same time, I was still doing the LG&D giveaway trucks, doing their lighting, going up to see the guys once a month to help, or twice a month,
Yep.
to take shit apart, put it back together. Then the lab became a thing. Same thing, kept coming up here, got more involved, and way more builds coming along. Things are happening faster. But to sit back and see it all come to life, sick. And now we're here. Now we're here. Gio has taken the reins of CLS.
Yes. Yeah. You gave the short end of the story. But you threw in some things that I didn't throw in. But either way, Creative Lighting Source, what was, and Legends Auto Parts is the new Legends Off-Road Performance. So Stefano can focus on what's next and excel in life. I have a team now, well, a guy, Elijah, that you guys met earlier on the video, that is taking over the lighting portion of the business, and Stefano is going to make sure, and again, this guy has a lot of experience. That's the only reason he's here from Idaho. but Stefano's going to make sure that he's trained and knows everything and does everything exactly the way that he would do it and I would do it. So it's like we're just passing off the torch. I passed off the torch to you.
Yep.
Now you're passing off the torch to Elijah. So if you guys need anything custom lighting, legendsautoparts.com, there's a phone number on there that goes directly to Sam. So you will speak to Sam. If you chat through the chat inbox on the website, you'll also speak to Sam, John, or even me. Sometimes I go in there. So if you need any custom lighting for whether it's a Lamborghini Aventador or a Porsche GT3 or a truck, again, trucks are like our biggest market. I would say that 80% of the lights that we do are for trucks because less car people modify their headlights. But we will do headlights for any make and model. We just don't really like to work on the older stuff like 2010 and earlier, but we will. So think about us. Keep in mind if you have any custom lighting needs for any of your vehicles. And yeah, with that, Stefano, I don't think this YouTube channel will see you for a little bit.
No.
No, and I'm gonna see you less and less too. You're gonna be here for a few weeks training. Yeah, I'm gonna have to come visit you. You have no reason to come here anymore.
I do.
Yeah, 3D printing. I gave you a shout out earlier for DigiFab.
Oh.
Now, if you change the name,
No, I didn't.
okay. So DigiFab is his next project, 3D printing. So if you need anything 3D printing, where can they find you? Instagram?
3D printing, 3D modeling, 3D scanning,
Custom
CAD
parts.
design, custom parts.
Anything.
You want to bring a
He made
product
this.
to life.
Look at this. Now I'm giving away the idea. If any of you sell this or print it and say, it's gonna be pretty difficult to do unless you're smart. But anything 3D printed, he can design it and make it. So keep him in mind, keep us in mind. legendsautoparts.com for all your lighting and digifabusa.com.
dfabusa.com and the Instagram's just digifabusa.
Send him a DM, get some 3D printing done by him. Either way, guys, that is it. Creative Lighting Source is now in the past and Legends Auto Parts to the moon. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for all the support. I hope you enjoy all the rest of the videos I upload to this channel. Again, it's only going to be the most interesting things in my life, and I hope that this vlog was not too long, but I'm going to guess it's probably like an hour long. So if you got to the end of this video, thanks for watching the whole way through. So that's it, guys. Hope you liked LGND1. Until next time,
Signing off.
peace. I'll see you next vlog. Give them a peace out.